Thanks so much for joining us on this Monday morning on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Michelle Beck. Let's get right to your headlines. In a matter of hours, the balance of power could shift in the Minnesota House. DFL Representative David Gottfried is set to take his seat for the first time today. And when that happens, the number of House Republicans and Democrats will officially be split at 67 each. That also means Democrats and Republicans will co-chair all but one House committees. Plus, bills will need bipartisan support to pass through committees and move to the House floor. Per the deal, we'll also see Republican Lisa Demuth as Speaker for the next 2 years. And day to day, as one DFL representative put it, committees will rotate gavels, with the co-chairs from both parties setting their respective agendas and deciding which bills to discuss. Today's floor calendar includes 12 different bills, but the priority now and in the weeks to come is agreeing on a budget for the next 2 years. A government shutdown averted over the weekend. The White House says it's full steam ahead with its economic policies, new import taxes on foreign goods, and the continued slashing of federal agencies and workers. Meanwhile, polls and stock markets show the moves to be unpopular. Now, the administration is locked in a fight with a federal judge over mass deportations. NBC's Alice Barr has more from Washington.
Hi there. The Trump administration invoked a rarely used statute dating back to 1798 to authorize deporting hundreds of Venezuelan immigrants and is now pushing back on a judge's order to block the move. President Trump arriving back in Washington overnight amid controversy over a very different round of flights. The deportations of roughly 300 immigrants the White House alleges are Venezuelan gang members to a prison in El Salvador.
I can tell you this, these were bad people.
The president claiming authority under the Alien Enemies Act, rarely used and only in times of war. A federal judge quickly blocked the move, ordering the deportation flights back to the U.S., but they did not all return. The White House adamant it did not defy a court order. The administration appealed the judge's ruling, arguing it was issued after the planes had left U.S. territory. All as President Trump defended his tariff strategy, with a new NBC News poll finding 54% of those surveyed disapprove of his early performance on the economy. The president pointing to reciprocal tariffs on nearly all trading partners set to take effect in 2 weeks.
We're going to be getting back some of the wealth that very, very foolish presidents gave away.
The Treasury Secretary saying recent stock market plunges are an adjustment to what he argues are necessary new policies.
We are resetting and we are putting things on a sustainable path.
Democrats are split over how to respond after the party's Senate leader led a move to back a Republican funding bill to prevent a government shutdown.
I don't think you save the republic and save our democracy by playing it straight and maintaining norms when the president is shattering them every single day.
A growing divide over presidential power. Back to that new NBC News poll, 55% of voters surveyed approve of President Trump's handling of immigration and border security. And while they're broadly open to government efficiency, about 2/3 say Elon Musk and his team need to slow down or stop. Looking ahead to next year's midterm elections, those surveyed are almost evenly divided over which party should control Congress. In Washington, I'm Alice Barr. Back to you.
New this morning, Forever 21 is filing for bankruptcy again. It's the second time the retailer's U.S. operating company has filed in the past 6 years. In yesterday's filing, the company cited increased competition from foreign retailers of fast fashion. It struggled in recent years to keep up with Chinese-owned retailers Shein and Temu, especially since online shopping boomed during the pandemic. Forever 21 says it'll hold liquidation sales at its U.S. stores, and it's still trying to find a buyer for some or all of its assets. Forever 21 first filed for bankruptcy in 2019, but was able to stay afloat after investors bought it. The St. Cloud State student named as a person of interest in the search for a missing college student in Punta Cana is being confined to a hotel room right now. That's according to Joshua Reeb's attorney, who tells NBC News Reeby's passport has been allegedly confiscated. The attorney also says police are escorting Reeby wherever he goes. NBC obtained transcripts from one of Reeby's interviews with police. In it, Reeby told authorities he and Sudiksha Konanki were in the water when they both almost almost drowned, and he saved her. Afterwards, while standing in knee-deep water, Reeby told police he got sick, and when he looked up, Kananki was gone. Sadiksha was last seen March 6. This morning, astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams, whose 10-day mission to space has turned into 9 months and counting, are another step closer to coming home. After a rescheduled launch, Crew 10 blasted off from Kennedy Space Center in Florida Friday night. Now they may be coming home as soon as tomorrow. NBC's Tom Costello has covered this story for us from the beginning.
260 miles above the Earth at 12:04 a.m. Eastern Time Sunday morning.
Dragging contact and soft capture complete.
Crew 10 docked with the International Space Station. The relief team for Crew 9, including 2 astronauts who have been on board the station since last June.
SpaceX Crew 10, welcome aboard the ISS.
Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams were at the hatch as it opened with the new crew made up of a Japanese astronaut, a Russian cosmonaut, and 2 NASA astronauts, Nicole Ayers and Commander Anne McClain.
I cannot tell you the immense joy of our crew when we looked out the window and we saw the space station for the first time.
Butch and Suni's long extended visit started back on June 5th.
Go Starliner. Godspeed, Butch and Suni.
Boeing's Starliner spacecraft launched successfully from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station for a 10-day test flight. But NASA became convinced Starliner wasn't safe, so it left Butch and Suni on the station while bringing Starliner home empty. Butch and Suni have been there ever since.
Every astronaut that launches into space, we teach them, don't think about when you're coming home. Think about how well your mission's going, and if you're lucky, you might get to stay longer.
Suni Williams soon took over as space station commander. Now, with a normal 5-month crew rotation, Butch and Suni are one step closer to coming home.
Great to see our friends arrive. So thank you so much.
An epic space saga for 2 astronauts about to celebrate the end of their very long mission.
In this very unique place it gives you an amazing perspective, not only out the window obviously, but also just on how to solve problems. I don't want to lose that spark of inspiration and that perspective when I leave, so I'm going to have to bottle it somehow.
This morning, we're hearing from people who credit a training course on naloxone for helping them save a woman's life. It happened last Thursday outside the store Smitten Kitten in the Lynn Lake neighborhood. The owner says staff saw a woman passed out in her car. They went to check on her and the car was unlocked. The store keeps naloxone on hand after Southside Harm Reduction Services trained their staff on how to use it. Staff say they're happy to have been able to help before paramedics arrived.
I think it was something that I would do for anybody at any time, and I would hope that somebody walking by would help me in a similar situation. And I'm just really thankful that we were prepared and knew what to do in the situation. So we didn't have to panic. We didn't have to wait for other help, because waiting would have meant the difference between life and death.
Minneapolis police say that woman was taken to the hospital, but they did not have an update on her condition. Developing this morning, several parts of the country cleaning up after intense storms roll across the U.S. Winds whipped through Rolla, Missouri, destroying several businesses. A gym there was heavily damaged. The only things left behind were heavy weights inside the building. And check out this mess in Ohio. Wild winds bringing down rows of power poles, knocking out power for hundreds of people instantly. Crews are on scene right now trying to get power back to everyone who lost it. Incredibly, there have been no reports of any injuries. Take a look at this. The Minnesota Timberwolves posting this overnight. They're waking up with their 8th straight win. The Wolves taking down the Utah Jazz 128-102 at Target Center last night. And from the hardwood to the stands and beyond, some Wolves fans feeling the energy this morning as the Wolves extend their streak. Others, though, proceeding with cautious optimism. Raya Katane got a pulse on the fans attending last night's game.
Well, welcome back to Target Center, everybody. Your Wolves are taking on the Utah Jazz. We're going for 8 wins in a row.
In downtown Minneapolis,
let's go!
St. Patrick's Day green is accompanied by a whole lot of Timberwolves blue. From Paris,
great. It's really fun to see.
To Japan, and back to Minneapolis.
Well, we're on a roll. At least that's what I've heard.
Timberwolves fans are feeling lucky.
We've been on a good roll, and hopefully they keep it up.
Across the street from the Target Center,
Cross my fingers that they're going to win.
a winning streak for the Wolves means another good day for business.
Because we're closer to the playoffs, we're just going to get busier and busier and busier.
Speaking of the playoffs,
the team's on a winning streak, but we all know what's going to happen.
Some lifelong fans aren't exactly getting their hopes up.
You got to ride it out through the highs and the lows.
But tonight, the energy is electric.
It's fun to have something to cheer for. They're playing so well.
And I'm not a huge Timberwolves person, so she made me a napkin that has all the players' names and stuff on it. So I'll be ready for the game.
These fans hope a little lucky green,
Go Timberwolves, keep it up.
mixed with some Timberwolves blue, will keep this team on top.
Go Wolves! Woo!
Hey, and if you're heading to St. Paul for its annual St. Patrick's Day Parade, it starts at noon, but you do want to get there a little bit early. The parade starts at Rice Park, that's 5th and Market, and ends at Mears Park in Lower Town. Staging area is shut down at 10 a.m., then at 11, intersecting roads between 6th and 4th Streets East will close. And expect a lot of traffic in downtown Minneapolis as well tonight. The city is bringing its St. Patrick's Day Parade back downtown. It kicks off at 6 tonight, running from 6th Street and Nicollet Avenue before ending at 12th Street. Do stick with us. More news and weather are coming up on KARE 11 News Now.